is the video review for Gigapower's GUTTUR. This is their Snarl. This is the new chrome variant that they are putting out. And aside from paints and things, there's not a whole lot of changes in the figure itself. He does come with the little removable faceplate, which still doesn't click onto his head. It just kind of rests there. If you're displaying him in dinosaur mode, the neck piece actually stays on pretty securely. It doesn't clip into place, but because of the way it sits between the head and the rest of the body, it kind of sits in there fairly securely. But you get the little smoke-colored head and neck pieces if you want to use those. And other than that, like I said, still big, still die-cast, still very heavy, still very impressive. This was sent to me to review, much like the first one, and I will be, like I said, opinion-wise, it's not super different from the original one. Snarl is my favorite character. I absolutely love Snarl. Having one this big on my shelf is really cool. And sorry, I'm just waking up here. I'm still getting used to being on day shift. He's got the opening mouth. His head does turn side to side, and his neck has a little bit of upward and downward movement in it. Very shiny. Now this is, I believe, if you didn't get the metallic version, I think it's still available in some places. And you'd rather have the metallic version, the original version, versus this chromed version, get one soon, because now that they've chromed it, they had to modify the molds a little bit to allow for the chroming process. So the original metallic version is what's out there, and I don't think there's going to be any more. If they reissue him down the line, it would be this chrome mode. But yeah, so again, really, it's mostly the same figure, aside from he's got some shinier paint here on the silver bits, a much deeper kind of metallic cherry red up here on the torso, rear end of the dinosaur, and of course you can see all the gold is now chrome versus that metallic gold paint they used on the first one. The black around these details looks like it may be glossier compared to the original, but I'm not sure if that's actually the case or just the fact that it's surrounded by the shinier red paint and the shinier silver paint, and it's just making that black pop a little more. So yeah, to transform him, just like before, we go ahead and rotate his legs up here. Like this one, I think. And we'll go ahead and split his legs. I'm going to try to get this all on camera, but he's a much larger figure than some of the stuff I'm used to reviewing, so I'll get these legs out of the way here. And we can kind of lift them up at the shoulder, get those out of the way. And there we go. We'll start getting all this stuff out of the way here. Fold that up. Fold this up, which will allow us to rotate the leg out. Oh, also one other change is the dinosaur mode has red eyes here as opposed to the blue eyes on the original in dinosaur mode. Fold this head up and in, and fold this whole thing. I should do this wrong. There we go. Fold that whole thing assembly up and around to the foot like that, and the dinosaur head sits right back there. Foot heel piece comes up. Let's see if I can come on out of here. Oh, here we go. Flip out this little tab. There we go. Flip that out. Flip the foot down. That plugs up into there. And then rotate it around here at the thigh swivel and get it with this hip plate up to bring it around to the front of the waist here. And then we do the same thing over here. Come on out. Oh, there we go. There's a little tab right here. Helps flipping it out. A little better. Plug it into the foot, flip out the toe. There we go. Yep, rotate it around. And there's his lower body done. We'll come up here to the top. Refocus. Obviously want to rotate that around to the front of the robot. Click his hips forward. I got one. Of course the tail splits here. Out to the side just like that. This whole assembly, which is die cast, comes down and onto the back. Just like that. When I move, you move. I'll flip out his head. See, he's got the chrome piece behind the chest plate as well. I'll flip his head up. And again, red eyes in robot mode. Although it's the same two heads that the original came with. Although he's got the red eyes on the angry head and the blue eyes on the calm face, which I think is the opposite of the original. Oh, hip panel's getting in the way there. There we go. And then the arms. It should come up somehow. There we go. Oh yeah, pull those out, rotate them up, and plug them in up here, and that raises the shoulders for robot mode. Again, pull them out. There's a little tab right in there, right against the base of the body. Rotate it up, and then plug it in up top. And then it's just a matter of flipping his fist out. Mirror, open up. This panel doesn't want to open up for me here. There we go. And you can rotate his fist out and his dinosaur foot up into the arm. Helps you extend the arm first. Then you got the room to flip everything in and out. Close up the panel. Close up that panel. There we go. Come on. You want to, there we go. Close those up. And there he is in robot mode. Let's go ahead and click his hips in. There we go. Nope, nope. There we go. Well, good enough. And you can see, again, he's the same figure. He with some different paint applications. We'll show off a comparison here in just a minute. He comes with the same robot mode accessories again. He's got the non-snarling head. He's got the little clip to hold his sword on his back. The rifle, which lights up, as well as the sword that also lights up. And then the missile launcher, which again this time has a chrome gold tip versus the silver tip that the original had. And you can plug this in behind his shoulder. There's a couple little screw holes here that also double as the port for this stuff. Getting this in there can be, the first time can be a little bit of a challenge because of the way the hinge works on it, but you just gotta plug it in there. The gun, he's got a tab. He can hold it in his hand, or what I usually like to do, I like to store it on his back. There's a little flip-up peg up here. I can store this on this side of his back over here, and I have him hold his sword. Now the sword, as I mentioned before, there's a tab on the sword for him to hold it. He can hold it in either hand, but it's not right in the middle of the handle. It's kind of offset a little bit, and you want to make sure that the side that it's offset towards is the one that goes toward the palm of the hand. If you flip it around like this, you won't be able to get it far enough back into his hand to tab it in. So you want to make sure that the side that's slightly offset is the one facing the palm of his hand when you do this. Open up his hand, and you can see there's the little slot inside the hand this is going to peg into. And like I said, if I try to put it in this way, it wouldn't sit far enough back. But if I flip it over so the offset side, basically with the screws facing forward, if you're holding him like in this position, so the tab can fit back there, you need to fold his thumb down out of the way, and it just goes right in the slot there. Wrap his fingers around it, and he's got his sword. There we go. And again, it's a really nice looking figure. I love this guy. He's been on my computer desk at home for the longest time now that I've got both versions. One may stay here and sit on my computer desk here at work, just as a cool little impressive piece. I'm not sure which one will stay where. And then just as a quick comparison here between the two of them, so you can see the difference here. Now, obviously, he's got the Autobot symbol on him that I've already stuck on there. But you can see the red's much more metallic. Like I said, it's more of a kind of a cherry red metallic color. Obviously, the chrome stands out. All the fins and legs and the tail is all chromed versus the kind of matte metallic gold paint from the first one. Which version do I like better? I think I still, just in general, prefer the original one, just because, like I said, I like the different shades in the gold here on the tail, but the chrome one is super impressive. Like it's like normal figure, premium premium high end re-release of it, exclusive version, which is weird because this is actually the going to be one that's going to be a little harder to find down the line, I think, just because from now on any version of the mold will have to use this chrome version, since they had to modify the mold in order to allow for that chroming process. But yeah, I think either one of these that you go with is really cool. Now they're $200, which is pretty much standard for a lot of these MP Dinobots. I don't know of many companies that have sold for significantly less than that they're still putting out. The two big companies putting out these giant guys are Fans Toys and Gigasaurs, and they're, like I said, they all run about $200 a figure. They're high-end masterpieces. There's a lot of die-cast in here. I'd have, for something like this, knowing third-party prices, I wouldn't have any problem paying $200 for one of these guys. I don't know if you need both of them unless you're like me and really love Snarl. I've got a whole shelf dedicated to him, and I like Stegosaurs. He does still have the opening panels here on the front with the detail work inside there. I think the detail work pops a little bit better again because it's in that shiny chrome. He's got black wires here, and in the original these were blue, but other than that, like all the paint apps inside there seem to be the same. Although again, the silver bits on this look like they're a little shinier than on the original. Although that may just be because it's painted over the shiny metallic red plastic versus the normal red plastic on the original. So yeah, there is the chrome version of Gigapower's Gutter. Everything seems to be a little darker. His face is a slightly darker shade of silver, all of this. And although I believe that's because it has the paint on it versus it's more of a shiny gray paint, and it's also a little slightly darker shade. Here again, I'll pull them in so you can see what I'm talking about. Like, it's not a huge difference, and a lot of it may just be how it looks in, visually, how I'm interpreting it in relation to the shiny gold or shiny red here. But the grays seem, like I said, the gray on the original seems to be just a slightly lighter, slightly less reflective than the one on this one. And also, like, the clear plastic, you can see, is darker. Like on here, it's kind of a translucent greenish gray, and on here, it's a much darker gray. It's still translucent, but it's more of a translucent black plastic than on the shoulders than on the original. So yeah, very impressive, very striking on the shelf. But there is the Gigapower's Gutter with the chrome pieces. If you just want to see the other head, like I said, there's this calm head, which really easy. You just pop the head off at the ball joint and snap the other one on. If I can get it to pop on here. There you go. Takes a little bit of force, but so there he is with the other head. I just realized I didn't go over the articulation. It's the same as the first one, so it's not like it hasn't been covered at some point in a video review. But yeah, so the tail, it's got a couple hinges back here that mostly let it wiggle in dinosaur mode, but you can move the tail pieces around to your liking. The head is on a ball joint. It's a little limited due to the completely flat piece underneath his head, as well as just the shape of the helmet itself, but you can look around. Ratcheting forward and forward and back joint at the shoulder, a ratcheting in and out joint at the shoulder. He does have a bicep swivel here. Wrist swivel, obviously. Articulated thumb, articulated fingers, and they're all individually articulated. 2 points at each finger here and here. The thumb is one single piece on a ball joint there. Waist swivel. He's got the ratcheting in and out on the thigh, ratcheting front and back on the thigh, thigh swivel, ratcheting knees, and because of the way this all connects, he's got an ankle tilt here. Again, a little limited in how it works. Just because of this outer piece here, so it doesn't go out as much. But you can get him in some wide stances and keep his feet flat on the ground, which is nice. So yeah, wanted to add that in there before I forgot. But yeah, just as good as the first one, a lot shinier.